Hey, this is Topwater Tony.
You got a little something on your face.
Oh, be right back. All right, sorry about that. And we're back. Yeah, I want to make a quick little video about what reel's best for you. Left-hand retrieve or right-hand retrieve. You know, if you're right-handed, would you want one like this? Or want one like this? I'm going to tell you the differences. It's like the things you should know when you're buying your first reels. One thing I've always noticed since I've been on the internet is the debate between a reel handle being on the left side or the right side, depending on if you're left-handed or you're right-handed. All right, a long time ago when I was a kid, and my dad took me to my first sporting goods store, tackle shop, whatever it was, taking me to get my first spinning reel. The first thing the salesman asked me was, "Are you right-handed or are you left-handed?" And I said, "I'm right-handed." So he gives me a spinning reel with the crank on the left-hand side, and proceeded to tell me that you crank with your weak hand or arm, and fight the fish with your strongest arm, which is my right. So from that moment on, that always felt comfortable to me. Also at the time I used a Zebco 33, which as far as I know, they don't make a handle that cranks on the left hand side. It was on the right. So every time I used it, kind of switching back and forth, the Zebco 33 with the crank on the right side always felt kind of foreign to me, kind of odd, because I'm trying to fight the fish with my weak arm. So that was a long time ago, and now I definitely don't have the 33 anymore. So that takes us to present day, using the bait casters and the spinning reels. So we're going to take a look at those here in just a minute. There's a lot of people out there that are fishing what I call backwards. Some people think if you're right-handed, you want to crank your reel on the right-hand side, like these two over here. Well, it's actually the opposite. To me, fishing the proper way is you're going to crank with your weak hand because you don't need all that power just to crank the reel. You let the reel do the work. Where you want your power is in your strong arm, your strong side. So you want to cast and fight the fish with your strong arm and pick up the line with the weak, like these two over here, bait caster and spinning. Now what I mean by fishing backwards is a lot of people, let's say if you're right-handed, once again, because I am, they will cast with their strong arm, but then switch hands and then crank or reel with the same hand. That's kind of weird. They're casting with the strong, but then they switch and reel with the strong, which means if they set the hook, they're fighting the fish with their weaker arm, as opposed to casting with the right, letting your reel and rod stay in your right, and then retrieving with your weaker hand. Now this video is mainly talking to the true left-handers and the true right-handers, not people that are ambidextrous. I think that's how you pronounce that. And that's people that can do the same equally with the right or the left hand. I have heard people that combine the two. They will, if they're right-hander, use a right-hand crank for their bait casting, but then when they go to their spinning, they will switch over to a spinning reel with a crank on the left, which kind of blows my mind. They're fishing correct here, but fishing backwards when they use this one. Okay, so really this video is just for people getting started. If you're getting started in fishing, or you want to take your kids first time fishing, Get them the right reel. It'll help in the long run. This is definitely a video not for the people that are already fishing either way, backwards or regular, to try to switch, because there's no way that's probably going to happen. Maybe you can do it, I don't know. So I guess the people that are fishing backwards is kind of like saying, kind of like a situation like where if you're right or left-handed and you break your main arm and it's in a cast for 2-3 months, and you got to do everything with your weaker hand, you'll eventually get used to doing stuff with your weaker hand. So it's kind of like the way people are fishing backwards. They got used to fishing a certain way, and they built up their strength in their weaker arm, and it works for them. You know, more power to you. But you know, for the beginners, start them out right. If you're right-handed, you want the crank on the left-hand side so you can fight the fish with your strong arm. If you're left-handed, you want the crank on the right-hand side so you can fight the fish with your strong left-hand side. It's like the right brain, left brain kind of thing. So if you fish with a proper combo, there's really only two advantages. One, that you don't have to switch hands when you're casting. And two, of course, controlling and fighting the fish with your strong arm. Let's say if you're flipping for bass or whatever, you know how sometimes they can just get it right on the drop. You don't want to take that little time to switch hands. You're going to be ready to go, lock, and then bang them. So, you know, there you go. But like I said, to each his own. If you want to fish and switch, you know, go ahead and do it. Okay, my buddy Eddie just Googled something real quick, and he's going to tell you what that says.
Says studies have shown that 90% of all people are right-handed, and an even higher percentage of bait casting reels are right crank.
It's kind of weird. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, but why is that? Are they trying to teach people to fish backwards, cast, oops, and then switch when it should be cast, hold on to that pole and reel, and then start fishing? I don't know. Do whatever's comfortable for you, but teach the kids the right way. Also, on that same note, my buddy Eddie just threw a nice point towards me, and we'll get what he said on that.
You know, Tony, I was just thinking, most of the poles you buy for your younger children are push button reels. They're new, the small poles that they start training with. All push button reels have a right hand crank. So by the time they get to the point where they use a bait caster or spinning reel, their mind's already trained to use a right hand crank.
That's weird, because by the time they get to be like a teenager, they're already used to fishing backwards. And then if they wanted to change to the strong arm, weak arm thing, it's either too late or maybe they can retrain themselves. I don't know. But that's a good point, because I've never seen a kid's pole with the crank on the left side, or giving them option left side right versus right side. I sense a conspiracy. I don't know this for a fact, but I'm assuming that, like back in the day, most of the reels were manufactured with the crank on the right side. I don't know when the left-hand cranks started coming into play, but I'm glad they did. But maybe that's why some people just naturally, if they wanted to fish, had to adapt to fishing what I call backwards, with the crank, if you're right-handed, with the crank on the right-hand side. Maybe, I don't know. Send me a message and let me know about that. I have no idea. Well, I hope this video helps. I'm Topwater Tony with Addicted to Fishing, and I will catch you later.